Welcome to Kirkbride for this first programme in our British Championship Series. We've got some exciting classes coming up, including the first round of our Limited Superstocks.
Kirkbride is situated just a few miles south of the Scottish border in a picturesque rural setting. The Cumbria Power Weekend is a two-day event including a large commercial truck show. An absolutely amazing variety of trucks come along. The feature points classes in the BTPA Tractor Pulling are arguably the two Prostocks divisions. And as Tom said, we also have the debut of the brand new Limited Superstock class. Plus there's a points round for Light Modified, Super Farm and Super Sport to look forward to. The track distance is 90 metres this weekend and the surface has been beautifully prepared by the Cumbria Tractor Pulling Club. The weather started off very hot and humid, but the forecast is for much cooler weather to roll in off the ocean as the pulling starts. There's also an incredibly strong tailwind to contend with. Both the Limited Prostocks and Super Farms have already had a points round up in Angus, Scotland, and it's with the Limited Prostocks that we open the action. The first round saw True Blue take the win from the Lancashire Bomber, and so that's an early 5-point lead for the Scottish team. And a new driver for the Bomber crew.
And what's the thinking with Chris getting off the seat? He likes to be on the side watching what's going on, or have you just got lumber with the driving job?
I don't really know what the crack is. He just kind of said, I'm not driving this year. You, between me and Fez, you sorted out who's having it. So, yeah, I think he wants to look and learn a bit as well, maybe. He wouldn't know. Now,
it's not your first time on the seat. We've seen you drive it quite a few times. And do you enjoy driving it?
I get that bit of a feeling before you start what's going to happen here. But, yeah, once you get going, you're okay. You do all right.
And no pressure. Chris, you stood on the sideline?
No. He said if you break it, you've got to mend it, and that's it. So, yeah.
11 tractors entered this weekend and quite a few of them capable of getting the win here at Kirkbride. Don't forget this is their second round of the 2019 season, the first round being up at Angus Show just a few weeks ago. To start with, it seemed difficult for the sledge team to get the right setting for the class and track conditions. We had quite a few test pulls and a few teams with early season mechanical issues, like the Will It Make It tractor of Mark Jones. Clear shot of the hand throttle there. But unfortunately he failed to get anywhere down the track, as did Stuart Noblets and Red Mist. What could last year's champion Lancashire Bomber do with Simon at the helm? Still a test puller, don't forget. Balance not quite right yet. Lifting that heavy tractor up in the air must be wasting a lot of power and a real job to get it back on the straight and narrow. 73.77 was the distance, and as a test puller he'll have the option to decline that distance and come out later for a second attempt. Very heavy sledge setting by the looks of it, but that's the point of a test pull. The Belgian sledge clan will make some tweaks and then we'll try again. Valuable seat time for Simon and some useful data for the team. Neil Gullen with the Gambler failed to get moving, so next up is Ed Bateman with Major Madness. And he's away. In fact, he's going really strong. All the way to the newly set 80-metre full pull line. Well done, Ed. The team travelled a long way to get here, and that makes it all the worthwhile. Another similar looking Fordson Major now. This is G-Force, driven by Giles Mostyn.
It was a bit in the deep end a couple of weekends ago up at Aberdeen, but yeah, it seems to be all right. It seems to be good. I'm happy with it.
Well, you came from the other circuit. You hit the ground running. Everybody was like, "Who's this guy?" And you were chomping at the heels straight away of some of the big guys. I mean, I've interviewed you before, and you were just happy to be there. But you're actually a serious contender, and they take you seriously. Oh, he's back. G-Force is back. He might be taking the win.
I don't know. I knew what I wanted to do to it. It's just like this time I have changed everything. It's different pistons, turbo, intercooler, pump, injectors, tyres. I've been in the back end, so I have changed a lot. And
a lot? It sounds like you changed it all.
I've changed it all, and I wasn't sure. I think because I had the 12 months on my hands, I got a bit excited and ended up changing too much, and I wasn't sure what I'd done what, but it all works together, so that'll do. Yeah, it were third of the weekend, so.
So what will the result of all those changes be? That's the dangerous thing about taking some time off. Well, it's looking good so far. It is a good clean run. And yes, another full pull, so we will be having a pull-off to decide the winner. Confirmation of the distance there for Giles. Currently third in the points, so he'll be looking for good things this weekend. Chris Brown with Dark Addiction now. Oh, and it wasn't to be his day. That's a real disappointment for the team. Something let go in a big way in the engine. Lots of oil on the track. And is that bits of the engine block on the floor? Oh, expensive and not what we want to see. Those teams put so much time and effort into these tractors. Earlier test puller Mark Jones out again with the Will It Make It. Better than last time. Oh, but he gets a bit of a bounce on. A lot of a bounce on, and he stops at just 30.54 metres. Let's hope there's no damage for the team. Next out, looking to improve on his first test pull, is Simon Woods with the Lancashire Bomber. He put in a distance of 73 metres in that test pull, but elected to try again. He now needs a full pull to get into the pull-off. Chris Wilkinson on backup duties, and they'll be looking to get on the podium at least. Oh, and up go the wheels again. But this time he can't keep the machine in bounds. Oh, such a shame. Crosses that white line, and that means he's disqualified. Well, that won't help his title defence at all. Well, you can see in the replay he had no chance of bringing that one back in line. Simon obviously not a happy camper after that one. I think the crowd enjoyed it though. Well, most of them anyway. Second down tip for Stuart Noblett now with the red mist. And another wheels up start. He gets it controlled again, but he's lost forward momentum. Oh, and he can't pick it up again. That's a shame. Final distance for Stuart, just 39.52. Another of the favourites now, True Blue, all the way from Scotland. Teams leading the points after the previous round, remember. This is a consistently good tractor. And you'd expect a full pull here. So let's see what he can manage here at Kirkbride. It's Graham Simpson behind the wheel this weekend. Not too much wheel height on this one. Nicely controlled. I think the team have got this one pretty much spot on. Yes, this is looking very good. Yep, he passes the full pull line, so that's the third machine into the pull-off. And confirmation of the distance there. Here's the replay. Straight down the centre of the track, full power all the way to a full pull. Perfect in every way. Well done, Graham. Next out, it's Stephen Ainsworth's brand new tractor, the Warrior.
Steve, you've been off the circuit for a while, and now you're back with a brand new machine. It looks absolutely fantastic. I know how much hard work it's gone into, but it looks the part. How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous. We went up to Brecon 2 weeks ago, and it ran okay. We've tweaked it a bit since then. Sort of 18 months, big team effort. It'd just be nice to get it out the end and give everyone a lift, you know. And
now, just tell the people at home a little bit. What is it? Obviously, it's a blue one.
Yeah, it's based on a TW15. So all running gear is pretty much standard, and the engine, we've tweaked it, big turbos, all usual stuff. So
we're knocking 800,000 horsepower, we think, maybe?
Yeah, with a bit of luck. We think we can get it up to about 12 with some more money spent.
Well, as Stephen says, he debuted the tractor at the last round in Scotland, but realistically not expecting to be at the full pool level for some time to come. He takes his time building the boost. That's a great start. He's on song now and he's flying down the track. What a run! And it's a full pool for the Warrior here at Kirkbride. But he looks rather relieved after that one. Cheeky smile there. And I think the crowd really appreciated that one. Great to see. And finally, the going bus tractor of Michael Winterbottom and Rob Flaherty. Well, he's moving, but looking a bit hesitant. Oh, a bit of a troubled run there. Well, unfortunately, just 18.26 the final distance. So these are the results for the first round of pulling. 4 tractors set for the nail-biting pull-off to decide the winner of Limited Prostock. All the tractors have been towed back to the closed pit and the lucky 4 will come out again. For the rest, it's the long trip home. The sledge operators will have either added weight to the sled or maybe adjusted the gearing so the weight moves forward more quickly. This will put more weight on the tractor earlier, making it obviously far harder to get down the track. So first out is Ed Bateman with Major Madness. Welcome back to the BTPA Tractor Pulling here in Kirkbride. Over to Colin now in the commentary booth for the Limited Prostock pull-off.
Thanks for that, Paul, and I have to say it's great to be back with the tractor pullers. First up, it's Major Madness. Now, Ed Bateman put in a perfect run in the qualification round. What can he do in the pull-off? Getting a bit of a bounce on. Finally stopped by the heavier sledge at 73.90 metres. So that sets the target for the next man to beat. And it's G-Force next, driven by Giles Mostyn. He must be pleased with that first round performance after all those changes. So building up the boost, the tractor starts to move forward now. Oh, and he's been pulled over to the right as well, the front end bouncing up and down again. And comes to a stop. And the measured distance ends 62.32 there for G-Force. Now let's have a look at the replay. As you can see, the tractor being pulled over to the right there. Front end bounces up and down as he tries to control it. Keeps the power in though. But eventually the sledge overcomes the forward motion. 62.32 metres. True Blue next, always a strong competitor. So on goes the safety cutout. Green flags down the track. Build up the revs. And forward motion. Now then, let's see how far True Blue can go. Much straighter looking run than the other two, but coming up a bit short. Something's gone wrong there. Doesn't seem happy at all there. 33.76 metres. Frustration for the team. Final tractor is the Warrior. Stephen put in a great first pull on this brand new tractor. Looking for 74 metres or more to take the win, remember. Right, well, the hand throttle looks to be all the way down there. Oh, he's really going for this one. Being pulled over to the right just like the others. Very, very close to the white line. Gets it back and comes to a stop. But what about the distance? 80.22 metres gives him the win today. Now then, let's have a look at it from head on. You can see the tractor being pulled over to the right, but he's still got the power in. Oh, there you see the throttle off and then back on again. Doesn't want to give up on the run, and a cracking job there. All the other drivers really appreciate the work and effort he's put into that machine. Very popular winner here at Kirkbride. So there are the final distances, and that win put Stephen just 2 points behind True Blue in the championship.
Yeah, we made a few alterations last weekend and seem to have found a few more horsepowers, and to get it up there and win class last night were fantastic, yeah.
Completely new for this year is the Limited Superstock class. We saw a few demo pulls last year by European competitors at Great Eccleston, but for the 2019 season, the class is being trialled with full points rounds. Kevin Howarth has bought a tractor from France, and Stephen Charles has moved up from Supersport, having put together a machine specifically for this new class.
We've got a new machine for you.
Yeah, it's a machine that's been built over the winter down in France, by Guy here. It's the first event out for it, and we are looking forward to see what it does.
And this is our first class of limited Superstocks in the UK, isn't it?
Yes, it's the first event, first class, first competition. There's 4 here. We're hoping for good things and to put a good show on, and maybe encourage the class so other people come into it. I'm a diesel guy. I've come from a diesel background, and what attracted me to it, with the diesel Supersport, the 4.5, you're fighting with the temperatures, with coolant, forever changing, and the class is very competitive in the Supersport now. After being explained how the alcohol situation works, I'm new to it. I have picked quite a lot up this winter. It seemed an easier class to run and a less cheaper class. Yeah. So that's really what's attracted me to it, Tom, and maybe just wanting to move up a little bit in the tractor pulling world. So,
10 years ago we built a Prostock, and 5 years ago, because we were alone in France, we had a big chat between us and other teams. We decided to go with the new class, and that was coming up in Europe. So we converted the old 4 in a Superstock.
So tell us a little bit technical. What have we got under the bonnet here? It's an IH machine. What's going on? 1 turbocharger?
Yeah, 1 supercharger, standard block, standard head, and that's about everything standard. You know, we have a standard crank in it, but we is counterbalanced, and then we grind it and all that kind of stuff. Aluminium rods. We have an 8.3 liter engine from that on, and then methanol system on, and that's.
So 8.3 litres. It's been converted from running on diesel to running on methanol. How much horsepower do we think is kicking it out? Obviously, it's difficult to get. We're doing the best guess, aren't we?
Well, I'm pretty sure that we are doing the same like the Prostocks, because when we changed our tractor, our first tractor, we just changed the engine on methanol, and we didn't touch the ratio in the rear axle. So we are running faster with the methanol engine than on the diesel. So I think we are about 2,000 horsepower.
A quick look at the entry list here at Kirkbride. First out is Jade Howarth driving Ultimate Deer. Kevin Howarth, her dad, purchased the machine at the end of last year. It used to be known as Froggy. Now you'll see when the tractor actually goes for the pull itself, a lack of diesel smoke. This class obviously running on methanol as its fuel. Now this isn't the first time the team have driven the tractor. Kevin drove recently in Holland and did very well in competition, and Jade had a go last year as well. The plan is for Kevin and daughter Jade to share the driving duties this year. There'll be a heavier sledge setting for this class, quite a bit more power than the Limited Prostocks. She gets away nicely. Oh, looks like it's dropped out of gear maybe, or perhaps something broke in the drivetrain. That's a real shame for the team on their debut outing. There's always next time, Jade. Always next time. Stephen Charles next with Thunderstruck. Stephen told us about the origins of the machine a few minutes ago. Very new to him, so very little experience either driving or setting up the machine. Probably feeling a bit nervous as well. Far more power on board than his old Supersport machine, and could be a lot more lively. Green flags on the track, looking smooth and beautifully controlled. Getting nicely into the track. lovely methanol flame to end with. Distance for Stephen, 85.10 metres. The crew look delighted, as does Stephen. Well done, guys. Very, very pleased indeed, and why not? Froggy up next, the second of our European guests. Nick DeHuff at the wheel, Guy on backup duties. Don't forget, only the UK drivers are scoring points in the BTPA Championship. Another John Deere base machine, 7.6 litre John Deere engine on board. Now, will we see a full pull? With a bouncy start there. Dragged down eventually to 70.55 metres. Looks quite a heavy sledge setting for this class. The weather forecast not good, rain still expected later today. I think the sledge team are setting it heavy to reduce the number of tractors getting through to the pull-off in each class. The last of the 4 limited Superstocks, Warrior, this time based around a Deutz tractor. 7 litre Deutz engine on board. This is the second of the CDH pulling team tractors from France. This time it's Christophe Gabriel at the wheel. The class requires the original spec cylinder block and head to be retained, but to be fair, they were never designed for these power levels. Taking time building the boost. And up comes the front. Oh, what a run this is turning into. Comes to a stop, but what about the distance? 85.61 metres. Overtakes Stephen's distance to take the lead. Waves to the crowd, showing his appreciation to the fans here at the Cumbria Power Weekend. These machines very exciting to watch, and the class is a great addition to the pulling scene. The CDH pulling team are coming across for all of the BTPA rounds this season, and they're very welcome indeed. What a pull from Warrior. The final results, and as we mentioned, only the UK team scoring BTPA points, so Thunderstruck takes the lead.
Yes, I had a bit of a breakage last night, but it's nothing that can't be fixed, but unfortunately it won't run today because we haven't got the bit with us. So it's one of them. It was it's only a small breakage. It could have been worse, it could have been the engine, but yeah.
And now for something a little different. PPA compact diesels combine turbocharged car engines with small custom-built tractors for a very wild ride. Here's a small selection from Saturday's pulling. Compact Dragon driven by Nathan Jones there, and this is Stampede driven by Anthony Barnes. Moving into the Unlimited Compacts, it's Anthony Swarbrick with Despicable. And 41.08 metres. Matt Harpley with Diesel Weasel, another young man who's been around the sport for many years. And coming to a stop there at 42.72 metres for Matt, taking the lead. Jock Logan with Old Smoky. Drags him down to 39.34. And finally, Scott Murphy with Red Runt. Red Runt manages 22.58, so Matt Harpley taking the win. We've seen the new limited Superstocks, now a demo from a full Superstock. It's the Clark pulling team's Red Alert. Methanol, fuel and 3 turbochargers in 2 stages are permitted. This tractor's normally driven by Jeff Ashcroft, but today there's a new driver on board. None other than John Eccles, who normally drives Simply Red. John's driven Prostocks in the past, but never a 3,000 to 4,000 horsepower Superstock like this. Gets himself set on the machine, green flags down the track, and feeds that power in smoothly. Huge wheel speed, and keeps it straight all the way down the track. Nice one, John. Guessing he enjoyed that.
It was awesome. Totally different machine. Probably 2-3 times the horsepower that we're producing. Revving to 7,000 RPM. It was unbelievable, to be honest.
An ear-to-ear grin. I think you'll remember that for some time to come. Well done, John. Oh, he loved that. Regular driver Jeff Ashcroft came out with the team's other Superstock next, Red Fever. Well, off the tractor moves, but oh no, a problem from the start and an aborted run. Moving on to the light modified class now. 4 machines entered, including last year's champion Dan Whittingham driving Aftermath. First out on track is the Knight, driven today by Helen Hesketh. These tractors are based around 2.5 tonne. The Knight uses 2 Ford V8 engines. The Chevy and Chrysler Hemis are also popular in this class. Expect about 2,000 horsepower per motor, so that's about 4,000 per tractor. No need to build boost with this setup. Superchargers give instant power, remember. She feeds that power in gently. Flaps wide open as she gets moving. Up come the wheels at bouncing will cost meters. Comes to a stop, the final distance of 89.36 metres. And we're back with a full 90 metre track now, so that's just short of a full pull for the night. Helen shares the driving duties with her brother Ian Shirley, of course. You can see the tractor bouncing around as it reaches the end of the run. Got quite a shaking there. Confirmation of the distance, 89.36. That sets the distance for the rest to beat. Next out is Aftermath, driven by Dan Whittingham. Twin V8s again, but this time the engines are turned 90 degrees to face outwards. So a very different gearbox arrangement. The team can also bolt extra motors on to compete in the heavier weight categories. We'll see those later in the programme. And shaking right from the start. This is a wild one, but he powers through it and it's a full pull. Dan takes the lead. Right, here's a head-on camera shot just to show how bouncy that was. But he keeps it dead straight down the centre of the track. Well done, Dan. He's now the one to beat. Chris Knight next with Kit. Let's hear from the man himself.
It's a V12 Transmash out of a T55 Russian tank from the end of the 1950s kind of era. Quite popular in the tractor pulling world. There's quite a lot in Europe. You know, it runs a Transmash engine. There's a few of them that's changed it to methanol. I'm still running diesel, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing in 2.5 tonne modifieds against the rest of the competition, but well, we're here now and we'll just have to do the best.
Yeah, it's a beautifully turned out machine, all credit to you. You've obviously taken a lot of love and care when you got it back, when you took ownership of it. It looks the part, like a little bit under horsepower compared to some of the other guys, but it definitely does the business when you're on the track.
Yes, I mean, last year was tweaking about clutch issues big time, you know, and then I just bit the bullet last year, and this year complete new clutch into it, and it's just like chalk and cheese. Changed my turbo, did all new internals into the turbo, things like that.
This is a very popular machine. Let's see what he can do. Turbocharged and diesel powered, this is a very different tractor from the previous two. Well, it's a good steady run. Looks like he's been pulled down by the sledge. Indeed, stopped at 62.01 metres. And the final tractor in light modified is On the Limit, driven today by Mark Pacey. Yet another engine layout on this one. Always exciting runs for these machines, and this one's no different. Here we go, wheels skyward. But just short of the full pull. 84.74, so that's third place for Mark today. A great pull from On the Limit, and nice to see Mark looking pleased with that run. And a recap of the final distances, so it's Aftermath taking the early points lead. We caught up with Dan the following morning with the team preparing to run in the heavier modified class, dropping in 2 extra V8s.
Yeah, it's not doing too bad. We've, like I say, we've been to Holland a couple of times and we were in Germany last weekend. Had some good results really. And then yeah, pulled here yesterday in the 2.5 class and managed to win the class, so we're not doing too bad. Yeah, we're always making changes, there's lots of things to do, we're trying to make the tractor more reliable and just trying to move forward all the time, yeah. 3.5 tonne, yeah, we're pulling today, so we're going to drop another 2 engines on the tractor and go in the bigger class today. Oh yeah, it's totally different to drive, it's a lot harder to get off the line with 2 on, it's a bit more forgiving with 4, so you've got more power, you can get away with it easier.
Moving back to the hood style tractors now, and it's time for the 4.5 tonne Supersport class. New out this year is Kevin Carnegie with Extreme Force.
We bought it last year from the Red Impact team. All we've done is change the name of the tractor, so brought it across in November and made some minor changes just to fit me for the driver, but that's basically it. Just getting to know the tractor, really, to be honest. Every outing, I would say, has been a big learning curve, so yeah.
First ball then, and 4 machines entered in Supersport. Alistair Parkinson's O'Bonney failed to make it out on track. So this is Kevin with Extreme Force. He's learning the tractor, getting experience on every run. That is an arrow straight pull. And indeed, a great opening. Full pull as he goes across the line. That sets the target for the rest. Full pulls are the order of the day. Long-time class favourite now, Jamie Fleming with the Orange Factory. Turbocharged diesels in this class with centrifugal-powered slipper clutches. Oh, he's got that tractor perfectly balanced there. Power all the way through. And a masterclass in tractor pulling from Jamie here. A very impressive full pull from the Orange Factory. That one, I think, meant a lot to the team. From the same team now, it's a new tractor called Caesar, driven today by Kerry Foster. Based around the Valtra, this one. Slightly tentative away from the line. But she's singing now. Lovely balanced run. And again, another full pull. So that's 3 in the pull-off so far. The crowd appreciated that one. Both drivers doing the Solway tractor pulling team proud. And the brollies show the rain's arrived, so the track could start to get a bit greasy. Not good for the higher powered machines. Pull-off time, and it's Orange Factory first. Nicely balanced again. You can see the heavier sledge setting now. Jamie stopped by the sledge at 90.80 metres, a good target for the rest to beat. Kevin Carnegie next with Extreme Force. Unfortunately, Caesar couldn't make it out for the pull-off. And don't forget, Kevin's seen Jamie's run, he knows what the target is. Martin Ross willing him on there. It's a good looking run for Kevin, he needs to top the 90 metre mark. But not quite though today, dragged down at 87.24. That means the winner today in Supersport is Jamie Fleming with the Orange Factory. Hugs all round and the lead in the points championship. Confirmation of the final results there in Supersport.
Yeah, we had a full rebuild in the winter, top to bottom, and the engine's back on song. We had a bit of an issue in Aberdeen last year. We kind of lost any sort of backup power at the end of the run, but no, we're back where we need to be, and everybody's nipping at our heels even harder now, so we're on song.
On to the much awaited Prostock class.
BTPA champion, happy man.
Yeah, so far, Tom. But we haven't turned the wheel this year, so it means nothing, mate.
No, but you can say you are currently the champion, which is a nice feeling, surely.
Yeah, it's taken quite a few years to get it back again, actually. We've always been sort of there, and reliability, a few other things have let us down. Yeah, we've gone okay in Europe, as you know, and then occasionally we just can't put it together in the British Championship. But last year, yeah, all very good.
Yeah. And done any changes to the white machine over the winter?
We might have done a couple.
Oh, not giving any secrets away?
We've tried something different, a little bit different with the timing, and seems to be working okay.
So the first tractor takes to the track, and it's Gareth Jones with Diesel Dragon, Valtra based, of course. A quick look at the entry list. 5 tractors enter this weekend, 3 of which have won the championship in the last 3 years. Our Diesel Dragon backs up to the sledge. We saw the team's compact tractor earlier in the show, the Compact Dragon of young Nathan. Unlike the Limited Prostocks, these tractors allowed larger engine displacements and 2 turbos. This is looking good for Gareth. He's nicely into the track. Lovely balance and an arrow straight pull. Oh, he's going for the line, but just stopped a little bit short by the sledge at 88.26. But as a test puller, he can elect to disregard this pull and come back out again later in the class. Paul Haylock next with Panic. And it's a New Holland base for this one. It's important to keep the tractor headed straight down the track when it's coupled to the sledge. The crew out front help with this, then the BTPA officials take over. Down comes the visor. Up come the revs. Looking good as the pull continues down the track. Pulling over to the left a bit there. Getting close to that white line. And stops a bit short of Diesel Dragon's distance. 80.91 is the measured distance for Panic. The reigning class champion up next, Ice Bear, driven today by Mike Simmons. Head track marshal Joe signals he's good to go. Green flags down the track, slowly building the boost. Oh, that Valtra's on song today. Oh, those wheels getting pretty high though. But the Ice Bear storms down the track to 92 metres. A full pull. What a run from Mike. As we look at the head-on replay, shows Ice Bear was starting to move over to the left of the track at the end, but Mike keeps it in bounds nicely. Oh, looking pretty relieved there. John Eccles with Simply Red now. We saw him driving the Superstock tractor earlier. Very similar looking case-based tractor, but very different power. I wonder if he's made an offer to buy the Superstock yet. John won the championship in 2017, so we know the machine can do the business if all goes well. Always a good flame show from this one. Oh, bit of a tentative start. Then up come the wheels. Oh, it looks like it will be a full pull. Oh no, he just comes up a little bit short there. 87.83, good for third place at the moment. I think we'll see Gareth Jones, our test puller, coming back out again. He's after a full pull to challenge the Ice Bear. But first we have Ted Nicholson with Rough Justice. This international base machine is another class favourite. Ted's been driving for many years, both here and in Europe, so he certainly knows how to set up the tractor for any track conditions. Slip the clutch, then get those wheels spinning, but getting very bouncy there. He's having to fight for this one. No! Just 85.96 for Rough Justice. That's down in 4th place at the moment. That's not the opener that he was hoping for 2019. Oh, the replay just goes to show how unbalanced it all was. All over the place, up and down like a yo-yo, and bouncing to a stop. And that's not a happy look. Ted sets himself high standards. He wanted a full pull to be able to challenge the others. And sure enough, here's Gareth Jones with Diesel Dragon. He was our test puller, remember. He needs a full pull to get into a pull-off with Ice Bear. Getting a bounce on once again. I don't think it's far enough. And there he is, pulled down at 81.56. Looks like there's a bit of a fire in there as well. So he drops down behind John Eccles to take 3rd overall. And with no other full pulls, that means Ice Bear takes the win and the early points lead. We caught up with Andy the next day after the rain had stopped.
Wasn't too bad. It was very tricky last night, but we were pretty glad. She ran well, and yeah, we just managed to pop it out at the end. Nobody joined us for the final, so yeah, took the victory. Very happy.
Yeah, it was very difficult. It was hard to get in the track yesterday, but the tractor run really well. We got locked in about 40 metres, and yeah, we were happy with the run. Not the best of tracks, but we did all right.
Moving on to the second round of the year for Superfarm now, but event organiser David Todd hasn't entered his machine Red Bull this weekend.
Unfortunately, I've broken my ankle, so no tractor for me this weekend.
Was it ready to go? Is it disappointing because it sat there in the shed? Had you got a bit more spannering to do, but you couldn't because of your foot?
Had about maybe a weekend spannering to do on it, and it would have been here. I missed the first round up at Brecon because the ankle happened a fortnight before that. So I'm hoping later in the season, if everything goes well, I'll be back out to see where I am amongst the pack.
Martin, our current BTPA champion, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. We've got off to a good start this season so far. Tractor seems to be doing the business. We haven't tinkered with it too much over the winter. Great believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We have done some little alterations, but nothing major.
No? Just kept it as it was?
Yeah, there's a couple of little things. We've altered some of the weight and stuff, but nothing major regarding power and stuff, no.
So a look at the entry list. 8 entered this weekend in this very competitive class. Superfarm pulled earlier in the day before the rain arrived. Martin Ross is first up on the tractor called Diesel Ross. He won the first round of the year up at Angus, with Ewan Cameron taking second. Superfarms are the entry level for the hood-style tractors, limited to a single turbocharger and strict RPM limits. Martin won the championship last year. Winning the first round in Scotland made for a great start to the year. A masterclass in tractor pulling there for Martin, easy full pull there. With Islay Mist already putting in a 43.99 test pull, the sledge is now set so the tractors are in competition. Stuart Hunter with Talk and Business next. Stuart hasn't been pulling for a year or so. Not the same speed as Martin had. And 61.04 the distance for Stuart there. Ewan Cameron next with Smoky 2. Another favourite who could give Martin a run for his money. Oh, that looks like another beautifully balanced pull here. And he's getting it done here today. That's another easy looking full pull for Ewan, so there will be a pull-off. Nice run there for Ewan, needed the full pull, and that's exactly what he did. Drew Allen out next with Mission Impossible. First event of the year for this team. Well, he's getting the distance slow but steady. But getting pulled down early, and that's the end of their weekend. Ali's Nightmare now, owned by Angus and Scott McCamish. Now this one's looking good. Nicely into the track. Throttle open all the way. But just short of a full pull. 86.03 the distance. Test pull at Islay missed out again. Lachlan Kennedy at the wheel. Away from the line, and that is a strong looking pull, but starting to feel the load now. 56.10 is the measured distance. So let's take a look at the first pull distances. With the results from the first round of pulling, 2 full pulls, so 2 in the pull-off. Martin Ross out first with Diesel Ross, looking for his second straight win of the year. Very steady away. And that is a good looking run. Martin going the distance here at Kirkbride. And 95.01 metres is his distance. That'll be tough to beat. So, can Ewan match that on Smoky 2? These two tractors have squared off against each other so many times. Like Martin, Ewan hails from north of the border in Scotland, where the Superfarm class is very popular. Martin waiting in the tow-back lane to see if he'll take the win. Here we go then, all eyes on Ewan. Oh, bit of a bounce in the early part of the run, but he drives through it. It's going to be close. But not enough for Ewan. Dragged down at 75.05 metres. So Martin on Diesel Ross takes the win, with Ewan on Smoky 2 second. And Ali's Nightmare in third, the highest place of those who didn't get full pulls. A real boost for Martin in the points table. But later in the evening the rain did arrive, torrential in fact, so we moved forward to Sunday morning. It's dry, but the wind's approaching gale force now. What a difference a day makes. We saw Light Modified yesterday evening, now it's the turn of the 3.5 tonne modified class. Just 2 machines entered, Dan Whittingham with Aftermath and Chris Knight with Kit. Aftermath now has 2 extra engines bolted on, something like 8,000 horsepower on tap. A much heavier sledge now, making the tractor work for this one. One of those motors does not look too happy with all that smoke. So the distance, 88.40 metres, and probably some spannering for the team. Chris Knight with Kit now. Not strictly set up for this class, it's really a light modified. But he wants the extra track time, so he's entered the higher weight category. That sledge is really making him work. Finally stopped at 55.68 metres, so the win going to Aftermath. And to end, a couple of demo pulls from the Prostocks. The rain's returned, so the track's getting slick. John Eccles with Simply Red. No coming back for that one, John. Ouch, I think that's given him a bit of a headache. Ice Bear now, I think driven by Andy Miller today. Oh, what a run. He hooked and went. A spectacular run this. And a full pull from the team to close the show on the Saturday. Soon afterwards, the rain returned with a vengeance. All the points classes have thankfully been completed, and we move on to the Great Eccleston Show in 2 weeks' time for round 3. We'll see you there.